My name is Ethan Parker and I'm 12 years old. I live in a quiet neighborhood where nothing exciting ever happens unless you count Mr. Willis yelling at his lawnmower or my little brother chasing frogs into the kitchen. I'm not the coolest kid in school. I don't play on any teams. I mostly keep to myself. I like drawing aliens, building weird contraptions, and reading science fiction books that most people don't even look at. I guess you could say I'm a little different. And until last Tuesday, my life was pretty normal. That Tuesday started off bad. I forgot my science homework. I dropped my lunch tray in the cafeteria, and my best friend Jake sat with the soccer guys at lunch instead of with me. By the end of the day, all I wanted to do was go home, put on my hoodie, and disappear. As I walked home, my backpack felt heavier than usual. I figured it was just all the books I hadn't cleaned out in weeks. The weather was weird, too cloudy but warm, like the sky couldn't decide what it wanted. When I got home, I tossed my bag on the floor and collapsed on the couch. That's when I heard it. A thump, a shuffle. Then, another thump. I sat up, confused. My backpack moved. I blinked. It wiggled again. I slowly walked over, heart pounding. Was it a mouse? A raccoon? Something from the science lab? I unzipped it just a little, and two huge glowing eyes stared right back at me. I screamed and fell backward. The zipper burst open, and something strange popped out. Something soft, round, and very, very blue. The creature was about the size of a soccer ball, covered in fluffy teal fur. It had two little blue arms, no legs, and a wide round face with a permanent goofy smile. On top of its head were two antennae that blinked like little Christmas lights. It sneezed loudly and sprayed glitter all over the carpet. Then it smiled and said, "Gleep." I stared, completely frozen. It climbed out of the backpack like it did this every day, then rolled onto its back and wiggled. "What are you?" I whispered. It tapped a shiny silver band on its wrist, and a robotic voice answered for it. "Greetings, I am Zarlox 9, scout from the Galactic Observation League. Mission, observe Earth. Status, extremely hungry." I stood there, jaw hanging open. "You're an alien?" Zarlox burped, turned pink for a second, and nodded. The next few hours were chaos. I tried feeding him cereal, crackers, peanut butter, even chicken nuggets. Nothing worked. Finally, I handed him a tube of mint toothpaste. He sucked it down in one gulp, lit up like a glow stick, and let out a happy buzz. Apparently, toothpaste was his favorite food. After that, things got even weirder. Zarlox explored every inch of my room. He climbed into drawers, wore my socks like hats, and used my shoelaces to swing from the ceiling fan. He was curious, noisy, and impossible to hide. But honestly, he was also kind of awesome. That night, after everyone had gone to bed, I sat on the floor while he curled up beside me like a cat. I told him everything about how Jake didn't talk to me anymore, how school made me feel invisible, how I just didn't fit in sometimes. Zarlox didn't say anything, but he listened. He really listened. Then he tapped his wrist again and projected a glowing blue cube into the air. Inside it, I saw stars, strange planets, and creatures flying through space on shimmering wings. It was beautiful. One planet in the hologram looked like a giant glowing crystal. I realized that was his home. The next morning, I told him to stay put. "School is dangerous," I whispered. "People won't understand you." He nodded, or at least I thought he did. Turns out, I was wrong. Halfway through math class, I heard a familiar gleep. I turned in horror to see Zarlox poking his head out of my locker across the room. Then came the glitter sneeze. Then the flickering lights. He rolled right into the classroom, bounced off a desk, and landed on Mrs. Stevens's laptop. Everyone screamed. The fire alarm went off. Zarlox just waved and burped. By the time the principal showed up, the school was in full panic mode. I was sent home with a note that said I had serious explaining to do. That evening, I sat in the backyard with Zarlox. His antennae weren't glowing anymore. He looked sad. I looked up at the sky and sighed. "You don't belong here," I said quietly. "And honestly, neither do I. Not at school, not lately." He reached out and dropped something in my hand, a tiny glowing crystal. It felt warm and soft, like a living heartbeat. He tapped his wrist one last time, and a hologram appeared. A map of stars, with one bright dot blinking. It said, "Home." We both knew it was time. The next morning, just before the sun rose, we walked to the field near my house. The sky was clear for the first time all week. Suddenly, a soft humming filled the air, and a silver pod floated down from the clouds. It hovered above the grass, silent and glowing. Zarlox turned to me. He pressed his forehead to mine, then tapped the crystal in my palm. "Friend," the bracelet translated. I swallowed hard. "I'll miss you, buddy." He waved one last time and floated into the pod. Then, like a blink, it vanished into the sky. When I got home, I found a note inside my now very empty backpack. It glowed when I touched it, and the crystal translated the message to Ethan. "You showed me kindness. You shared your world. I will return when the stars are right. Until then, stay curious." I smiled, holding the crystal tight. Because, yeah, I might not be the most popular kid in school, but I'm the boy who had an alien in his backpack, and no one can ever take that away.